If you've ever found yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," and then watch that tomorrow quietly stretch into next week only to blur into a month filled with unfinished plans, then this video is not just meant for you, it's actually about you. You've probably been told that what you need is more motivation, or maybe just a better morning routine to finally get things done. But what if the real reason you feel stuck is that you've lost one of your most powerful abilities? The ability to follow through on what you said you'd do. This video isn't here to just give you another to-do list. It's here to help you rebuild your quiet, internal power, starting with one small and deliberate win. Because you don't actually need another wave of excitement to get things going. What you need is to start winning again. And once that happens, your brain will naturally begin to follow. The science of winning small. There's something truly fascinating about how the human brain works. It doesn't only keep track of your goals and ambitions, but it also quietly records your victories, especially the small and often unnoticed ones. These are the quiet, simple moments, like waking up on time after days of hitting the snooze button, finishing a 10-minute morning workout even when you really didn't feel like it, reading 5 pages of a book after putting it off for days. And every time you complete one of these small tasks, even the ones that seem almost insignificant, your brain responds in a powerful way. It releases a small amount of dopamine, which gives you a soft feeling of satisfaction. At the same time, your body produces a touch of testosterone, giving your confidence a gentle lift, as if your brain is quietly whispering, maybe you're more capable than you think. And that's where something even more interesting begins to happen. Your brain starts looking for the next opportunity to feel that same small success. It begins scanning for the next chance to win. This is what researchers call the winner effect. A very real biological loop that suggests the more you win, the more likely you are to keep winning. Not because of luck, not because of extraordinary talent, but because each win gradually changes how your brain sees you. Picture someone who just delivered a great presentation at work. They return to their desk with more energy, more confidence. That small success makes them more likely to suggest a new idea, more willing to raise their hand for a new challenge, and more visible to others, which leads to even more opportunities. Suddenly, it might look like success is following them, but it's actually the result of a growing loop. A win creates confidence. That confidence leads to action, and the action leads to more wins. Now imagine someone else, someone who's had a rough few weeks. They've missed a few deadlines, received some critical feedback, and started to feel like they just can't keep up. Slowly, they stopped volunteering. They stopped speaking up, and over time, they began to believe that maybe they're not the kind of person who succeeds, that they're not capable. And here's the part that matters most. Whether it's a positive loop or a negative one, it always starts with something small. One small win or one small failure. So the real question is, what kind of loop are you feeding right now? And most importantly, how can you start the right one? One small win, the beginning of power. Let's forget about the grand vision boards, the detailed 5-year plans, or those beautiful color-coded task lists that you keep creating but never truly stick to. None of that matters, at least not yet. Instead, let's begin with something so small, so simple that it feels almost too easy to count. And yet, it might quietly become the most powerful move you make today. Because if the winner effect truly begins with a single win, then the first thing you need isn't something impressive. What you need is a win so small, it feels nearly impossible to fail. It might look like this. You walk into a meeting that you had planned to simply sit through, and instead of staying quiet, you raise your hand and say, "Actually, I had a thought about that." Even if your voice shakes, even if your heart pounds. Or maybe it's just clearing off your workspace, the small mountain of notes, papers, and reminders that you've been promising to sort after lunch for the last 3 lunches. These actions might seem minor. They might even feel too silly to celebrate, but your brain doesn't see it that way. Every time you take an action based on your own promise, no matter how small, your brain rewards you. It releases dopamine. It reinforces trust. It begins to rebuild the belief that, yes, you still keep your word to yourself. So here's your simple challenge. Don't wait for the perfect moment to turn everything around. Instead, create a win so small today that your brain can't help but notice it. Write it down. Do it. Finish it. And when you start collecting these small moments quietly, day after day, you won't find yourself chasing motivation anymore because you'll be moving forward with something even stronger, the quiet power of someone who follows through. How to turn big tasks into winning streaks. Now that you've remembered what even a single small win feels like, let's talk about how to keep that winning momentum going. Not by doing more than you can handle, but by carrying less and doing it more wisely. Because the truth is, most people don't lose momentum because they're lazy or unmotivated. They lose it because they try to take on everything all at once. It's like trying to lift a giant backpack filled with everything you've been putting off. Trying to finish every online course you signed up for in a single weekend. Planning to start tomorrow by hitting the gym, eating clean, drinking enough water, going to bed early, meditating, learning a new language, all at once. Buying dozens of self-help books, but still struggling to finish even the first one. And when the weight of it all feels too heavy, your brain, just like any overloaded system, starts to shut down. It freezes, it avoids, it gives up. But what if that backpack didn't have to be carried in one lift? What if you opened it, looked inside, and chose to carry just one small piece at a time? Turning overwhelming goals into a series of manageable, meaningful steps. Let's take something specific, like the proposal you've been putting off. Instead of trying to write the whole thing, your first win could simply be opening the document and typing the title. Then your next win, writing 3 bullet points. After that, you write a rough first paragraph. Then you send it to someone for feedback. Now, instead of one heavy, intimidating task, you've created 4 small wins. You can apply the same approach to almost anything. Preparing for a presentation? Don't start with slides, just sketch an outline on paper. Wanting to get back into reading? Don't try to finish a whole book, just read 2 pages today. Wanting to exercise again? Don't try to run 5 kilometers, just put on your shoes and stretch for 3 minutes. You're not avoiding work, you're designing success in small, consistent steps. Because once winning starts to feel good, once it becomes familiar and achievable, you'll find yourself wanting to do it again and again and again, until one day you realize you're no longer crushed by the weight of everything you have to do. You're simply moving through your day, one task, one small win, one light and steady step at a time. How to create an environment that helps you win more often. Take a look at your desk right now. Is it a place where ideas come to life, or a place where they quietly go to die beneath piles of papers, coffee mugs, and distractions? Is it a space where decisions get made, or where they slowly disappear under endless tabs and unfinished notes? Now imagine this. What if you spent just 5 minutes at the end of each workday to reset your space? You clear your desk, you close your browser tabs, you place a note with the one task you want to begin with tomorrow, so that when you return, you don't have to rebuild your mental focus from zero. Instead, you walk into a space that calmly says, "Welcome back, let's keep moving." This isn't just about physical space, it applies to your digital world too. What's the very first thing you see when you open your laptop in the morning? Is it a blank document waiting for your attention? Or 10 apps pulling you in 10 different directions? You have the power to choose. Pin the calm, hide the chaos. And don't forget about the people around you, whether they're in your physical space or showing up on your screen. Surround yourself with voices that move you forward, who ask you gently, "What was your win today?" Because that step counts. That small win matters. So design your space with care. Protect your focus like it's something precious, because it truly is. And once everything around you begins to support your momentum, winning no longer feels rare. It becomes your new normal. The trust loop. How you rebuild belief after breaking your word. Here's a truth most people avoid. We all break promises to ourselves. Imagine this. You tell yourself, "Tomorrow morning I'll start work at 8 a.m. No distractions, full focus." You set your alarm. You go to bed a little earlier. You mean it. But then the morning comes. You hit snooze. Once. Then again. Suddenly it's 8:17 and instead of opening your laptop, you're scrolling through your phone. At that moment, it's not just about running a few minutes late. It's about breaking a quiet promise to yourself. And your brain notices. It simply stores that moment in memory, as if to say, maybe you're not someone who follows through. But here's where something incredibly important begins. Something called the trust loop. And it doesn't start with perfection. It starts with your return. Now imagine this. Instead of writing off the entire morning as a failure, you sit down at 8:35. You open up your laptop, and you write a single sentence. Then you say to yourself, "I didn't show up on time, but I still showed up." That's the beginning of the loop. You made a promise, you miss it, you come back anyway, and your brain learns something new. I can still count on me. This is the foundation of self-trust. So don't chase perfection. Don't try to never slip. Just be the person who comes back again and again until your brain begins to believe in you again. Let's take a final moment to reflect on everything we've uncovered in this video. We began with a simple but powerful truth. You don't need more motivation. What you need is to start winning again. Not through big, overwhelming actions, but through small, deliberate steps that slowly rebuild your momentum, restore your confidence, and strengthen your self-trust. We've explored how just one win can immediately shift your mental and emotional state. We saw how breaking down large, intimidating tasks into tiny victories can keep your progress alive and sustainable. We talked about the importance of your environment, how the space around you can quietly shape your habits, either helping you stay focused or pulling you off course. And we looked at the truth about self-trust. It's not built by being perfect. It's built by returning to your word, especially after you fall short. All of this leads to one core message. You just have to do the next small thing and honor the promise you made to yourself while doing it. So now, it's your turn. What's one small promise you can remake today? Drop it in the comments. Let's create a space where tiny wins are celebrated, not ignored. And if this video helps shift something inside you, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.